Scholars!
Welcome back to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor.
That's right, your favorite super villain. To every Bungie ball fondler and content fondler out there, I'm your super villain. Here's some more content. I took this Sunday off because I wasn't feeling good, but here we are talking about more content. It's kind of a lull right now. Not really much going on. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't done anything script writing or anything. I've got like 3 different things I need to do before school starts, which starts. I return to work mid next week. So, technically it'll be this week by the time you watch this video. A little rambling, a little caught up, but I absolutely plan on doing some brutally honest reviews. In fact, we have like 3 we got to do. The most important one, I think, is Edge of Fate, to be honest. The free update stuff was supposed to be its own video. I'm still going to chug along and make it happen. It's going to probably be a lot shorter. Edge of Fate, I don't know. That one, I'm definitely going to let it cook. But the free update, I think, is going to be more condensed. It'll have some skits and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to push it out because at this point, it's very apparent what the issues are. And just to put my brutally honest thoughts out there and what they could possibly do to fix it. So we're going to definitely do that. Talking about fixing. We are watching a channel that I've not really heard of. Maybe I don't know if I reacted to them. I've reacted to so many different channels. I don't even know. But we're reacting to Nerd, about how can Bungie save Destiny 2 right now? Because we look at things. We look at it. It's not good. Like, we're only like maybe a month and we're already we've lost half of the peak players. And the average player is just not good for an expansion. Especially with special like events going on. It's just not good. So we're going to see someone else's thoughts. How can they, Bungie, save Destiny? How could they save them? We're going to jump in and I am the gaming nerd. Okay. We're going to jump in and we're going to see. And then I'll give you my opinions. I'm saving a lot of my opinions, obviously, for my video, but I will chime in.
We don't need more power, we need purpose. Destiny 2 isn't dying because there's nothing to do, it's dying because nothing feels worth doing anymore. You log in, open the director, and 80% of the activities are just there. No incentive, no real reason.
We salute the Destiny graveyard. What once was and now is just this abandoned play style.
To engage, it's like walking into an abandoned mall. Familiar, nostalgic, and completely lifeless. And that's the problem.
It's like driving by and seeing Blockbusters, right? You're like, oh man, I remember that. I remember going there and renting out a video game. I remember those moments like so many years ago. And it's just there. You're like, RIP.
Destiny doesn't have a content shortage, it has a meaning shortage. So here's how Bungie could actually save it without building a single new raid, subclass, or campaign. Just 4 changes, 4 pressure points.
Okay.
Hit these and you'd revive the game overnight.
Those are some big pressure points. I don't know about, I think there's a little bit more to it. I'll be honest, you might be able to save Destiny 2, but I think to save Destiny overall, I think we need Destiny 3. That's just, again, there's going to be arguments of whether Bungie can do it. Sony is apparently getting ready to take over. There may be a shot. Sony has money in the pockets. Maybe they can spend more money to get Destiny 3 rolling, like multiple studios working on it. There could be it is a possible. The moment Sony takes over, the doors open up for some possibilities, right? Bungie right now, probably not. But with Sony at the helm, there's a possibility. Especially since they want live service to be their bread and butter, there is a possibility they do take over and then Destiny gets the new wheels that it needs.
Let's start with the easiest fix nobody wants to talk about. If Bungie simply made old content matter again, you'd double the endgame overnight, without lifting a finger. Right now, every seasonal playlist feels like a gated theme park. Sure, you can run the Moon, EDZ, Europa, Battlegrounds, the Shattered Throne, Presage, Prophecy, but you won't, not unless you're chasing a title or a red border, because they don't drop anything that matters. Powerful gear.
I mean, even then, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think, outside of maybe the last, even Last Wish, I think outside of Vault of Glass, that nothing else in the game really matters. Like, Vault of Glass has the best hand cannon, and you could argue Sunder Doctrine, but like, you can get Fatebringer and then Hens and Vengeance, which is the best rocket in the game, and that's pretty much all you need. Most of it is the exotics in the game that kind of carry. And Praetus, the best sniper in the game, Praetus, would be also another shout to go to. But I'm going to be honest. With how Bungie has changed the ecosystem and tier system, you can essentially just ignore 90% of the weapons in the game because they're just now pointless. Doesn't mean you still can't use them. They're overall pointless, especially when you start looking into the featured set gear, which gives you just flat bonuses. Like, you get 10% for kinetic weapons, especially if you're using exotics. Like, those do matter, especially when you're doing specific challenges or feats to get loot. All those actually do have impact, and it's rather annoying, especially if you're playing the Avalagante, whatever bullshit it's called, and you're doing Conquest, which you can only do one time. You have to only use either new weapons or featured weapons, which isolates your entire portfolio of weapons, and I think is really bad. It makes most of your weapons pointless, and we're already starting to see weapons like apparent action. It's the solar sidearm. Well, we have the Crucible one that now can be tiered, and it is already power crept the apparent action out. The only reason you use apparent action is I think its origin trait is better, leaving the Vex milk everywhere, and it kills like for AoE. But outside of that, like, it is already we're seeing gun types come in, and we will see the rest of the game being soft sunset to where you just don't even want to use it anymore. This is very drawn out, but what I'm saying is we will get to a point, especially if Bungie does not give any love to the 90% of the game that's they're trying to leave behind. If they don't give any love to it, it will become just absolutely abandoned. Right now, there's some choice picks that you can get away with, going for. Most of this game is going to become very redundant very quickly.
Gear gone. Pinnacles only in the current rotation on Portal. Even cosmetics are stripped from half the legacy missions. They've turned this loot-driven game into a memory museum. Loot is the motivator. If content doesn't reward gear that moves you forward, it completely gets ignored. It's not about wanting loot all the time, it's about respecting the player's time. Destiny used to feel like
I do think it's like, if you're a veteran at this point and you've gone through and you've got everything, there's no reason to go back. If you're a new player, then, sure, there might be some, like I said, choice weapons. Overall, I think as a new player or a casual player, it's better to just move forward and chase the new stuff rather than go backwards. Which I think is bad for the game, because people are going to get the new stuff, and then when they get the roles they want, they're just going to be, all right, I'm done. There's nothing else. I'm tired of playing K1 Logistics and Caldera for the 50th time. I'm done. Whoop, we're done here.
World. Now it feels like a spreadsheet where only the top row counts. And here's the wild part. Bungie already has the systems to fix this. Set every piece of old content to drop powerful gear, 1 drop per completion, no extra modifiers, no seasonal locks, just straight up meaningful progression for players.
I think he's right. You don't even need to do tier systems. If you're going to force people to do the shitty ass grind, let the whole game give power pinnacle drops. Let everyone just play the game how they want to play to 450. But if you want the good new stuff, you want the tier shit, then go play the Portal, which I think still needs to be addressed. But overall, like that is probably the quickest method of solving some of the grind is just if I want to play, which would be good for new players who maybe bought the expansions and they want to go through the campaign or they want to go through old raids. They want specific things. It encourages people to go back the way it is now. Like there's no reason for veterans to go back and play older raids, knowing that their gear is about to be, essentially replaced, right? And so this gives a reason for even veterans to go back to this old content, these old raids, giving it more life so that they can play with some new and casual players and have some benefits out of it. But as it stands, it is completely isolating 90% of the game, which is a problem.
You want to play the game. To Bungie's credit, they've finally started to test this. Legacy campaigns and rotating exotic quests will now drop powerful gear once per week starting in an upcoming patch. It's a solid step, but it's still limited. This idea should apply to all legacy content, not just a weekly drip feed. And now, with Sony reportedly pressing Bungie to restore player trust before marathon launches, there's even more reason to hope. If Destiny is still their flagship, they need to treat it like one by making the loot loop exciting again. But even if the loot mattered again, good luck finding a team to actually play it with. You boot up Destiny, look at the map, and realize half of the best activities are useless to you unless you schedule your gaming life around other people's availability. Let's be real, Destiny's best stuff, Nightfalls, dungeons, exotic missions, is locked behind a wall we call Fireteam Finder. A tool that, if you're lucky, might match you up in 15 minutes with 2 blueberries who bounce on the first wipe. This isn't about difficulty, it's about access. I'm a dad, I work, I get maybe an hour to play a night, and I'm spending 30 minutes of it waiting.
You said you're a dad? Watch out. You're going to have the top echelon saying, sorry, this game, you can't cater to this game to dads. Nope, sorry. You have to sell your soul. You can only play this game. You have to give up your child for adoption. You have to divorce your wife or your husband. And you have to have like an anal pump to feel pleasure because you're going to get fucked by the game. You can only get fucked by the game, right? Those top echelon are the worst part of the Destiny community because they want the game to not be a fun grind. They want it to just be a life-sucking experience that isn't enjoyable. It might be enjoyable for them, but they're like the very small percentile of people, and most of them have mental disorders, and that's why you should not listen to them. The other half are people who get paid to play this game, in which case you should definitely ignore every aspect of their opinion on whether the game is too grindy or not. You should never listen to a damn person, content creator, who gets literally paid to sit on their ass and stream, record, make guides, and play this game 24/7. They are the last person that should have any input on the practicality and how the game itself should flow in regard to how much time and grind you should spend in it. There's a difference from having a grind, like playing like a real MMO, which I think a good example is probably like Diablo. Diablo was very friendly. Diablo had a lot of issues with in-game, but overall its farm was well received by most people. It was really fun and enjoyable, and it's only improved since then. No one says give everyone handouts, but no one wants to sit there and literally feel like a slave to a game that has like 3 options to play. And that's it. Right? I don't believe there is a world where we should listen to people who spent thousands of hours to get a digital number that is going to reset in a couple months. A digital number that has no impact on the game because half the game has power deltas that caps you at whatever the delta is plus the negative. So if it's like 100 for the raid and then raid is a -10, then you will always be at a 90. No matter if you're 400 or 450, you are always going to be at a negative of whatever the cap is, which completely, it is stupid. Like, what's the fucking point of the power? Diablo doesn't even do it. MMOs don't even fucking do that. Like, they make you grind up to that level, and once you're at that level, you did it. You did the thing. But for some reason, Destiny, Bungie's like, hey, we're going to instill this pointless grind, this pointless number, only to cause you to have no value out of it by making inserting deltas that just completely negate any effort you put into leveling up, except for maybe like the portal where you can choose and you can actually over level, which people are these top echelon people are already bitching about, like, oh, Grandmaster, I'm over level for a Grandmaster, it's too easy now. This is why you can't have nice things in this game. This is why you can't just, I don't understand.
To play the game I've already paid for. Matchmaking should be on for everything that doesn't require voice chat coordination. And for the content that does, give us a solo queue with modifier support. Grade A, Platinum, something. Let the tryhards keep their Grandmaster elitism. No one's asking to change that. We're just asking for a path to play. Destiny once promised to be the shooter where every type of player could find a home. These days, if you don't have a clan or Discord server ready to go, the best content is off limits. Fixing this wouldn't just make the game more inclusive, it would massively boost player attention. Bungie's acknowledged the issue.
I do think also, like, the community itself is also very toxic in more ways than one. That, like, the overall community, like, there's some great people, but they're very fucking toxic. You got multiple levels. You got the top that's toxic because of elitism. You got the bottom where you got your casuals that are very toxic because they hate elites. Like, there's this constant war between. Then you got this elite, the elitism of how you can have to play the game. Then you've got people who are upset when you suggest using these meta loadouts. And then they're like, okay, well, no one wants to be a meta slave, even though you're just saying, hey, this is the efficient way of doing stuff. It is you just can't win. This community is so flip-flopped, upside down. It is a very unwelcoming community. There's a reason why I saw like a statistics. Destiny 2 was ranked one of the worst communities. It was being beaten by like some other games. Crap, I forgot which ones they were, but it doesn't matter. It was just ranked as one of the worst communities, and I believe it. It's just overall there are some very, very toxic people. And when I say toxic, I mean, we've got, your positive toxicity, but you also have your over toxic, just absolute hate brigading people as well. You do got people, unfortunately, that are very nice and very welcoming, but they get buried by the other percentile of people. And you just don't really find them too often in LFG. And unfortunately, with a new or a casual player, they dip their toes into Fireteam Finder. All it takes is one really bad experience and they're gone. Like, it's easy for like content creators to say that the community is so great, but it's literally just their channel. And, obviously there's going to be some bias because they watch you, so they like you. So of course they're going to support you. And when you ask them to join, they're going to want to join and play with you and help you out. It's self-confirming biasm. And it's easy to say the community is great. Well, it's great because it's great for you. But when you're actually out doing LFG like normal people, it is not like that. You can have some great experiences. You can have some horrible experiences. And I think 8 out of 10 times, most people have all right experiences. But it's that other two times, the other 2 times that ruin it, right? That ruin it. You just have that 2 other instances where they're just bad experiences, and it makes people just say, I'm done. I'm done with the community.
They're reworking Fireteam.
Opening the matchmaking isn't going to necessarily wave and fix that, but I do feel, and you're going to have a lot of people come in and out and leave and in and out, and it's going to be very annoying, but I guarantee there's going to be people who are going to stick it out.
Find a UI and hinting at better matchmaking options down the line, even for dungeons. That's encouraging, but players need more than a roadmap. They need these features now, not in 6 months' time. With Sony execs reportedly frustrated over live service failings, maybe now's the time that Bungie will finally get out of its own way and build systems that actually respect spontaneous players. Even if we fixed matchmaking and made content rewarding, we'd still be playing the same 3 activities every week. that's a problem too. You know what kills Destiny faster than burnout? Boredom. It's not just the activities are bad, it's just they never change. You log in, the game funnels you into the same Vanguard strike, the same Lost Sector, the same Nightfall rotation, and the reason is simple: power. Because of the way progression is tied to specific weekly sources, players are forced to optimize their playtime around efficiency, not...
It's funny he's talking about optimizing efficiency. He's I don't know what level he's at, but like he's got to speed this up. Like he's taking too long. If you're gonna farm Caldera, you got to go almost 2 minutes. You got to be fast. That's how long you got to spend 3 hours. You got to get thousands of runs in. You're not optimized. You're not gonna cook it to 450.
Fun. Want to get to power 450? Run the same 3 things. Want powerfuls? Tough. They're scattered across playlists you've already out-leveled or can't stomach anymore. And here's the fix. Rotate power sources weekly across everything. This week, Forsaken campaign drops power. Next week, Dreaming City Blindwell.
That's fair.
After that, Presage. Then Scourge. Then The Whisper. Make Destiny feel alive again. Not by adding new content, but by spotlighting the stuff you already made. Casuals would get variety. Hardcore grinders would still take the efficient route. But
I mean, if you think about it, Shadowkeep and Beyond Light are free to everyone. I'm gonna be honest. That's some easy run through the campaigns. Like, shit. There's not an option to run through the campaigns. Bungie needs to install that. Like, how I don't understand. Like, surely it can't be that hard to put a level selector for those campaigns. Like, it desperately needs it, but it surely can't. It doesn't take that much to be able to select the mission and relaunch them. If they did that, then play through the whole thing, and you get some pinnacles each mission you do. Like, it would be free.
At least now, it wouldn't feel like the same meal reheated 100 different ways. Power grind shouldn't be a funnel, it should be a buffet. Let people feast. So this season will rotate more legacy content eventually, including exotic missions and past seasonal activities. That's a great move, but it needs to evolve further. Don't just rotate random.
I think Bungie is. I think they're taking too long. I think by the time they actually make some changes, it's going to be too late. I think people have already come to the conclusion, and that's the big thing. This expansion was not good. It was one of the worst expansions we've had in years. And I would say it's like competing with Lightfall. Like, Lightfall was just garbage story. But the gameplay was so much better. The gameplay overall was so much better than Matterspark. And just the world itself was very uninteresting. People have already come to the conclusion. Half of the people who started have already come and gone. That's not how you want to kickstart a new saga. Also, the whole idea that we're no longer getting seasons, or if we do get seasons, they're just like mid-season updates. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have people consume and play this game a lot less, especially how egregious this grind is. It's already killed people off. They need to do some emergencies. They need to immediately, like, this is what we need to do. We need to do it now. This wait and see option that Bungie has been doing for the past couple of years, it has only made things worse. And I think at this point, if they wait too damn long, you're going to see more people drop down below back to the 30, 20K average players.
Demise.
Especially now that literally in a month, we're going to have Borderlands 4. We're going to have Arc Raiders. You're going to have Battlefield, which has already gotten more people in the beta than Destiny has in an entire expansion. And yes, it's relevant because they're both live services and they're both competing for time and they're both FPSs. So yes, they absolutely do translate as a competitor. It may not be a Destiny clone competitor, but it's still a competitor in the live service market. And people are excited for that. Not so much with Destiny. No one's excited about Destiny.
Login feel like a fresh map of opportunity, not another rinse and repeat checklist. So as I said, there's one more piece to the saving Bungie puzzle, and it's the one nobody wants to admit. Destiny's best content is gatekept by the worst system in the game. Destiny's most creative, replayable, satisfying content is dungeon and raids, and most people
Yep.
have never even played them. Why?
Yep.
Because there's no matchmaking, no solo mode, no casual access. You either bring a group of friends or fight your way through
Or get fucked.
Team Finder. Let that sink in. This is a multiplayer shooter in 2025 where the best content still expects you to organise a squad by hand. I've missed so many raids, not because I didn't want to play them, but because I couldn't find a team in time.
Or fucking no one's playing that raid anymore. Or if you do play, you get a bunch of new players who have no idea what they're doing, and most people don't have time to spend 3 hours on one encounter. And I'm not joking. If you look at some of the situations, some of the LFG, they're that bad. There's a reason why people must know what to do, and they are very picky about who they play with. It's because it exists. When you have a bunch of blueberries who don't know what they're doing, it is a bad time. There is nothing enjoyable unless you're a new player. Then you're like whatever, right? But if you are a veteran stuck with a bunch of blueberries, you are going to have a horrible, horrible time unless you're carrying them and you're doing it intentionally. But if you do not want to sign up for that, most likely you will probably leave that and be like, peace, I'm out, because you're going to have a bad time. I have stuck out with some LFG before, and I kid you not, I did, what was it, a Last Wish raid, and it took 3 fucking hours. And I said to myself, I'm never doing this again. Never, ever, 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 ever doing this again. I'm sorry. There's being patient, and then there's spending that much time when there's other things in life to do, especially if you work. Like if you're a Destiny content creator and your job is Destiny, it's easy to like write it off and like, okay, I'm getting paid either way. But if you live and have a fucking normal life, God forbid you have a kid or a relationship or even friends outside of the game, you're not going to be able to have time for that, especially if a job. Just not going to happen. So I do think the solution to the raid situation is a director/explorer mode. I think they need to go the route that Call of Duty Zombies has gone, and they need to treat the player like they're fucking stupid, and they need to go step by step by step by step on how to do it without any way of failure. You remove any way to wipe in a raid, and then you don't give them, like, people are like, well, they're just going to give out loot. Well, make it to where they don't get any loot until the end. You do explorer mode. You get like 1 or 2 drops at the end. You can't get the exotic. The exotic, you have to go play the actual normal mode to get the chance at the exotic. But you get a couple of drops at the end of it. You go through this process. Or hell, who gives a shit? Let's not be stingy. Give them weapons at every encounter. Like, who cares? Like, 9 out of 10 times, let's be honest, the way tier system works now anyways, like, the new raid sucks ass anyways when it comes to loot. So give everyone fucking loot. It's only tier 1 anyways. So explorer mode, get loot. You just don't get the chance at the exotic at the end. So you have to go back and do normal. So there's your elitism. Eat your heart out for those that want elitism for some fucking reason. But you want people to play your raids. You've got to make it to where the stupidest person can do a raid, and the only way to do that is by doing like a director mode for raids.
Because real life gets in the way. Sometimes the only hour I get all week is random. No one's online, Fireteam Finder is dead, and the door stays locked. It shouldn't be this way. Bungie had the solution already. It was called Explorer Mode. No revives, no rewards, just jump in, explore the mechanics, and experience the content. Why is that gone? And I hear all of you guys in my comments, oh, it wouldn't work because playing with randoms doesn't. But when I played Explorer Mode, it did. And I'm not asking for the same level.
That answers your question right there. You played Explorer Mode. You could not fail. If you play in a mode where you could fail, you're going to fail. Especially with LFG, like random blueberries.
Of rewards as the normal mode or a harder difficulty with modifiers, but at least let people dip their toes and get a little bit of the raid loot that they're looking for. And then eventually, when they're comfortable and know all the mechanics, and you go into the Fireteam Finder and someone instantly types KWTD, and for once you actually go, yeah, I do know what to do. So you put a thumbs up and you play with them. You don't instantly cause them to wipe and then they instantly leave because they're rage quitting because you're not good enough. Bungie says Explorer mode might return, and they're testing matchmaking for dungeons with cap rewards. That's progress, but until it ships, the average player is still locked out. Testing a fix and shipping a fix, not the same thing. If you gave players the chance to learn raids and dungeons at their own pace, without the pressure of a flawless clear or elitist gatekeeping, you'd see engagement skyrocket. Let hardcore players keep their day one badges and contest mode titles. That's fine, but let everyone else at least taste.
That won't be enough. People are actually going to want to gatekeep weapons too. Like, people are already upset that Solstice was very generous with tier 5s. People are already upset that people are getting essentially, handouts, and you're never going to win. And to be honest, I think when it comes to raids, you just ignore the 1% of people. You just absolutely ignore them because they're never going to be happy. They will never be happy. You need to go. You want to get the middle to the end bucket. Like, a game for everyone is for no one, but you can still capture the most people kind of like in the middle, where your most dedicated players plus people who are also new or casual are going to resign right here. If you try to do everyone who wants everything casual at the bottom, the game's going to be what it was in Destiny 2 launch. I think you need to go in the middle. We need to meet in the middle. That's the sweet spot. It needs to have a little prestige, but not so much that no one can participate in it.
The good stuff. Because the truth is, Destiny isn't short on amazing content. It's short on access. And that's the root of the problem. Destiny doesn't need to become something new to survive. It just needs to stop locking its best content behind broken systems. Give us a reason to play the old stuff. Give us the way to play the hard stuff. Give us a variety that doesn't come with a burnout tag. And let casual players enjoy the game without jumping through 6 social hoops to do it. This game could be so much more without adding a single new activity. The foundation is still incredible. The art, the sound, the feel of the combat is still top tier, and it's unmatched. And that's why there's so many people, despite being 70% less than normal, still playing the game. But none of that matters if you're standing in the tower wondering what's even worth doing anymore. Sony's now watching closely. With marathon delayed and executives demanding more polish, Destiny 2 isn't just a game, it's a test. Bungie can't win players back here. Why should anyone believe in their next live service?
I think they've already failed the test. I think the fact that Sony has removed the veil, like Sony wasn't mentioning anything about Bungie and their independence and about how they, their control. Sony has now removed the veil because now it's like, okay, we've tried, you failed. We're going to tell people that this is what's going to happen now. You've lost control. We're taking control. I think if Destiny was successful, then Sony would not come out and try to essentially say we're taking their independence away. You don't slap the hand of a child that's doing good, right? You don't hold a kid's hand who's going the right direction. No, you hold the kid's hand who's going the wrong way, who needs someone to help them and direct them because they're not able to do it. And that's what is going on in Destiny.
That's why people are leaving, not because they hate Destiny, but because they love it and hate feeling locked out of it. If you agree, share this with someone at Bungie, or drop a comment with the fix you think would actually make Destiny fun again.
I think there's a lot of, he pretty much hit some key points, right? But I think the fundamental issue is also the game itself is just no one wants to have the conversation because everyone, you mentioned Destiny 3 and they're like, okay, that's not possible. It's not happening. And you know what? You're right. But it's a conversation that Sony needs to be having and they need to be pushing for. And I think if more of the Destiny community pushed and said, we want Destiny 3, I do think Sony would push for Destiny 3. Listen, You don't go fishing in an empty pond. You go fishing where the fish are. And so if no one's playing Destiny 2, but everyone is saying, you have your customers saying, hey, I want Destiny 3. You want my money. You want these big bills. You want these big bills? You need to give me what I want as a consumer. Give me Destiny 3. And I guarantee you're going to have content creators that are going to say, no, that's not going to work. I don't know why you guys are stupid. You guys don't know what you're talking about. There's a lot of advantages to having a Destiny 3. Yes, will you lose your loot? You already are. 90% of the game has now been soft sunset. And now with the tier system, it's essentially diminishing all the other old content. It's just diminished. So you might as well just do a Destiny 3 because your loot is essentially map, right? Here's the deal. People are going to be upset no matter what. I think for the fate of the game or the series, moving to like Unreal Engine instead of their shitty Tiger Engine, that's going to solve a lot of problems. Cutting off old consoles, moving forward, you can have better graphics. You can have better server control. Hell, put some better anti-fucking cheat into the game. Like you can invest more into a evolving world that won't break after every single update. It is so simple. It's such a free win for Bungie. And all they have to do is be consistent with the updates, releasing new content. And I think they need to set expectations. And I don't think that what they need to do is what they did in Destiny 2 season after season. I think what they do, they bring over a new story, they bring a raid, they bring some strikes, and then they work on like the portal. I think the portal was great for the fact that it took aspects of the open world and made missions out of it. And I think that's where they need to phone home, is take these aspects of the world that after like they go through the campaign, that's probably never going to be touched again. Make those individual missions that people can farm. You could have hundreds of missions, replayable missions like the portal from the campaign itself, based on areas that are just not getting any love or any purpose. This would be a great time to go real MMO. Introduce real public events, like boss fight public events. Why people are like, you can't do that. Why can't we in Destiny load into a world tier open world zone like Diablo, have a grandmaster giant ass Vex fight, like a giant ass Vex that you can have up to like 20 people in the world come around and work together, use synergize and kick a big ass boss fight, and you can get special ornaments like you do in Diablo. You can get special, like you can get some exotics or special gear that you can only get for beating this boss, and make it fucking hard too. Like don't make it like easy. Make it hard to where people like they have to make builds in order to take this open world boss. And guarantee people are going to be watching the clock. They're going to want to jump in anytime there's open world boss because it happens in Diablo. Like these are concepts that they can apply to a new game that they can't do in Destiny 2. We could go rant and rave and talk about like Destiny 3, but I think Destiny 2, you can continue to punch life into it. You just beat that body. But I think we're going to get to a point where the only way to help Destiny is a Destiny 3. I'm not going to try to rant too much, and that's why we're going to end there. Let me know what you think. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Link to the video will be down below. And as always, don't forget to game.